Okay, good evening everybody and welcome to our spring band concert. We're very excited to present some music for you. This one's just a little bit different because one of the things that I like to do on this concert is present some of what we call our instrumental choirs. So what that means, it's not a choir in the sense of they're going to sing. If you missed that last night, it's on Tiger Central, you can go back and listen to it. But an instrumental choir is just all of our instruments of a certain family playing a piece of music together. And I'll talk a little bit more about solo and ensemble where these groups performed a couple weeks ago. But since that was all the way in Monmouth, we'd like to give you a chance to hear them now. So the first group you're going to hear is our flute choir. So these are our flute players playing a piece called Foxfire, conducted by Isabella Whitfield. So let's give them a warm welcome. As I mentioned, the place that these groups originally performed was at the Solo and Ensemble Festival. So most of you have, I hope, heard your students talking about this, and of course all these students went. We went on Saturday, March 4th, I think it was the 4th, to Monmouth Roseville High School, and Solo and Ensemble is an opportunity for high schools to perform solos, individuals performing, and ensembles or small groups. And this is something that's really important to me and something I like to make a priority of our program because these students are incredible musicians and I want to show them off. I want to show them off in a setting other than just the full band. So that's where they performed last, and of course many of us didn't make it out to Monmouth, so you're hearing it again today. Next group you're going to hear is the percussion choir. Percussion, this is all of our percussionists, and they're playing a really fun groove-based piece of music. It uses some drums from other cultures, some tubanos, some djembes, and it's called Mozambique. And it's conducted by Kaylee Patterson. we talked about the Solo and Ensemble Festival. One thing that leads to, the IHSA, which is the Organization for All State Athletics and Academics in Illinois, sponsors the State Music Sweepstakes. And so that is a competition between music programs throughout the state. We're in Class B, and I'm very proud of these students because in the Class B competition, each solo and each ensemble earns points towards this competition. And for bands in Class B, so that's the whole state of Illinois, in our class, I think there's 5 classes overall, our students in band had the 4th best results, the 4th most points, 4th place in the state, based on their hard work at solo and ensemble. And that's not just the quantity, but that's the quality of it. Yeah. And that's something I think every year other than COVID for the last 5 or 6 years, we've been in the top 5 or 10 in the state. And that's a testament to their hard work. And all of these groups performed and earned a Division I rating there too. Next up, you're gonna hear our brass choir, all the brass instruments. They're gonna play a piece called Bartók for brass. Bartók was a Hungarian composer of the 1800s. These were written for piano originally, and they were arranged for brass. This is 3 short pieces. We call those movements in the music world. And it is concert etiquette. Here's your lesson for today. We're gonna clap at the end of all 3 instead of in between them. So you're gonna hear 3 short pieces of Bartók for brass. And I completely forgot to announce that that was student conducted by Sadie Thornton. Thank you, Sadie. And I'd like to just briefly recognize all of our student conductors. So it's challenging. A couple of them have experience as drum majors out on the marching band field, but conducting a piece like this is a real challenge. It's very different from what we do, and they didn't get a whole lot of opportunities to practice either. Believe it or not, it takes a little bit of skill to wave your arms up around there. You don't just stop when the music stops. You can, but there's better ways to do it. So I really appreciate them being willing to step up and lead. And at solo and ensemble, I didn't do anything. I sat and watched, just like I'm doing here. So I would like to recognize Jacob, Sadie, Kaylee, and Isabella for their hard work in student conducting. Can we give them a round of applause? And so this is our last choir. This is our woodwind choir. So it'll be all of the woodwind instruments, flutes, clarinets, saxophones, bassoon, etc., in case I forgot one. And they're going to be playing El Camino, a Spanish march, a little different. And we're going to get set up for our first full band tune. Give us 45 seconds. So our first full band piece was called Critical Mass by Todd Stalter. Todd Stalter is actually the band director in Eureka, Illinois. We're not too far from here. Also a great composer. There's not a lot to say about that one. It's just fun. It's fast. And then our next piece of music we're going to play for you is very, very different. Looking for my notes. I don't know where I put my notes. All right, we're going to figure it out. The next piece of music is called The Bonsai Tree by Julie Giroux. And the bonsai tree uses the pentatonic scale. I won't go into too much detail, but this set of notes is often associated with music of East Asia, China, Japan, Korea. And specifically, she was inspired by the bonsai trees and the art of tending bonsai that came up in Japan. So it's not a Japanese melody per se, but the notes are kind of evocative of that music. It's very, very beautiful. Features some mallet percussion in some sections, so the beginning is very gentle and kind of the opposite of the percussive effects you heard in Critical Mass in Mozambique. So this is the bonsai tree. I'd like to formally announce that I conducted in the wrong time signature for one measure of that. I apologize. I knew it was going to happen, and I still did it anyway. It happens. Like I said, it's harder than it looks. So the next piece we've got for you, we've got two more to play. This one is unique. One thing that I like that is different about this concert, Many times when you hear a concert from us or from the choirs or the jazz band or whomever, you're going to hear the music and then we're going to turn it over and put it away and go on to something new. This one's a little different. Usually in the spring, what we do is participate in the IHSA organizational contest as part of sweepstakes. This year, that falls right in the middle of spring break, so we decided, both Mr. Crawford and myself, to not participate in that this year for obvious reasons. It's spring break. And instead, the band is going to be traveling at the end of April. We're going to be going up to Northern Illinois University. Details to come, I promise. You'll get an email about it. And we're going to be participating in a large group festival. It's not a competition, it's not competitive, but we're going to get to play in Northern Illinois' auditorium and hear some other really good high school bands. We're going to bring back some of this music. The next piece, Elements, so it's a four-movement, there's that movement word again, it's a four-movement piece built around the classical elements, air, water, earth, fire, okay? And at Northern, we're going to perform this whole suite of movements. With solo and ensemble, with the choirs and everything else, we're not ready to put all of that out for you just yet. So you're going to hear just a small portion of what we're going to play later in the year. This is inspired by the classical element air, and you're going to hear, this is kind of built up of little minimal loops. You're going to hear the same thing over and over, then something new is added, then something new is added, and it builds up this really cool texture. You're also going to hear an instrument you don't usually hear in band, which is piano. Nora, you want to wave? Nora's back there. We've got the keyboard into an amp back there, and you're going to hear some piano sounds in this as well, which is unique. So this is one movement, so you can clap at the end. There's not more than one. This is Air from the Elements by Brian Beaumanges. Malfunction, give us just a second. And so that brings us to our last song of the evening. Before we go and play our last song, please don't go. Couple announcements. The next time you're going to hear the concert band, we're not going to play again until that festival in Northern at the end of April, and then the Ice Cream Social Pops concert in the first Wednesday of May. But I encourage all of you to join us on Saturday the 25th. There is going to be here at PHS our benefit concert that Mr. Crawford has organized for the family of Riley Kane, a PHS alum who passed away. And you're going to hear the PHS Concert Choir, PHS Jazz Band, as well as visiting ensembles from the Vandercook College of Music, where both Mr. Crawford and I studied. So it's going to be a beautiful night of music for a very good cause, and we hope that you'll join us. Mr. Crawford, or if you're here, what's the start time on that? Oh man, he was here. All right, it is that night. We think it's 6:30, but please be on the lookout. It should be correct in the program. Like I said, I lost my notes. Other than that, I just want to make a couple thank yous. I'd like to thank PHS for all of their support, our administration, Brody Anderson, auditorium manager, Sound Lights and Tiger Central staff up top for all of their help. And I, of course, would like to thank all of you for joining us, and I'd like to thank the students. I like my job, and it's because they do a great job. And when they don't, they own up to it, and I appreciate that. The last song we're going to play for you is In... Okay. The last piece of music we're going to play for you, this is just fun. This is called the clapping song. Don't try to clap along because it's not going to work. I'm just calling it now. There's some meat on the bones here. This is by Randall Standridge, and he describes it as, I have this note from the program. It is a combination of part symphonic, part tribal, part boot-scootin' country, and a touch of blues. This is the clapping song.
you next time.